Hey everyone, welcome back to Uprise Astrology Podcast. My name is Aileen. I am an astrologer and tarot reader, and today's video is going to be focusing on all the most important transits that are beginning for all my Virgo and Virgo rising friends for November of 2021. We're going to be specifically taking a look at the time period from the new moon in Scorpio to right before the full moon that is going to be unfolding in Taurus. I'm going to be covering the astrological transits and what I think is going to be the most important for us to keep in mind while we're moving through the next 30 days. And then at the end, we're going to be taking a look at a very simple 7-card spread to kind of get more insights. Before I get started, I do want to mention that I offer readings. There's different types of readings that I offer. You want to check those out in the description box below if you want to work with me a little bit closer one-on-one. Currently, the one-on-one readings in person, they are fully booked until April, but I do offer video recorded readings as well. So those are available in the description box below. Now, let's get started by taking a look at your guys' chart. Now, if you are a Virgo or Virgo rising, your rising sign is going to give you the most accurate picture. So if you're a Virgo rising and you know that, then this is going to give you the most accurate picture as to where the energies are going to be unfolding for you guys in your chart. So here we see a chart for November 4th. That's when the new moon in Scorpio actually started to happen. That's when we begin that 30-day cycle. And for you guys, this is an energy that is unfolding in the third house. What is the third house? The third house is a house that really defines everyday mindset skills or thought that have to do on the immediate environment, the local environment even. It can oftentimes describe a time where you're focusing on just local shops or streets, the cafes that you go to, the grocery stores that you go to, the community that you are a part of, but your immediate environment. The third house oftentimes is also anything that you do with your hands. So stuff that you type, maybe, being on your phone, necessarily not, maybe typing on the phone, but any kind of text message exchanges, stuff like that you're doing with your hands. It's not limited to that. It can be all sorts of other things. Those are generally speaking the types of things that we're taking a look at with the third house. Now, sometimes the third house also has to do with gossip, in my opinion. That's my personal experience that I've made just reading charts, that the third house could also have to do something with gossip or something that's being communicated by another person. It's a lot of speech and how we consciously connect to another person that is defined in the third house. So here's where the new moon is unfolding for you guys. What is that going to entail over the next 30 days? The themes that you could be taking a look at here with the Scorpio new moon is that you're starting a brand new story when it comes to how you actually use your mindset or how you speak, how you communicate, what it is that you're even communicating. There is a new beginning that starts to happen here. There is also a deeply profound sort of time that proves to you that you're a lot more independent now than you realized maybe before. This new moon in particular is at 12 degrees. And the way that I am viewing and what I'm intuiting from this new moon is that it's almost like as if we're getting the keys to our first car. That's what this is going to feel like for a lot of us. It's like, wow, this is my first car ever. That feeling, that excitement. And then also really not knowing what is going to be happening from this moment forward, right? Like the whole world is opening up here. That is the feeling that we are maybe going to be experiencing over the next 30 days. Now, with this new moon, what I'm seeing is that there is a lot of themes of independence. There is a lot of beginning a new story, like I mentioned, but then also deep truths that surface about essential needs that you guys have in regards to stability, to your local community, or all of the themes that we just mentioned for the third house. So this is a time where you're ending confusion and bringing a lot more stability in because of the way in which that the degree is unfolding. Okay. Now, this new moon is also going to be in an opposition to Uranus. So the themes that we're going to be experiencing here will also have a dash of Uranus in there. What are those themes in the opposition to the new moon over the next 30 days? A lot of unpredictable behavior, a lot of sudden changes in the story, because Taurus or Uranus being in Taurus is also at 12 degrees. So there's a lot of sudden changes when it comes to the storyline. And for you, Uranus is in the 9th house. Something that didn't make sense before will now start to make sense. You're going to be able to see what else you need to add as an ingredient to the big picture, because the 9th house oftentimes has to do with consciousness expanding knowledge. So there is some kind of knowledge or some kind of piece of information that it's from the higher perspective. That's a lot of times what the 9th house in general represents. So here you are going to really reinvent a new, higher, bigger picture for yourself. And this could come in through an unexpected connection that you're making via another person or someone who is helping you or helping you to gain the knowledge in order for you to set the proper new, story into place that is going to unfold. You're going to feel inspired by it. The 9th house are, generally speaking, things that inspire us, that we are inspired by, and therefore we're moving into action here. So Uranus for you is going to have these impacts over the next 30 days, where I think you're going to just see that you're going to break free from certain constraints that you had for quite some time when it came to these themes that we just mentioned between the two houses. At first, of course, because there is an opposition that we're taking a look at, oppositions never sound really pleasant. Just know an opposition is essentially a energy where we have to take action to resolve it. So it's a very action-oriented aspect that we're taking a look at with this particular cycle. Now, when we move on to the next aspect that I think is going to be really important, that is going to be unfolding on November 10th. November 10th, we are going to have the Sun still in the 3rd house, but we're also going to have now Mercury and Mars coming together at 7 degrees in the 3rd house for you. And from here, they're going to be forming a square to your 6th house. What does all of that mean? The square that they're forming to Saturn in the 6th house, all going to be at 7 degrees. So the 3rd house, we already know the themes. The 6th house is all of your lifestyle. So any kind of lifestyle changes that you have been really working on here, this is a situation that I think is going to occur with this square, where you're going to start to really understand that you need to reorganize your daily life of some sort. It can also bring something up with coworkers. It can bring something up in regards to your work environment, but oftentimes the 6th house is a space where you are taking a look at your lifestyle and you're taking a look at what you're doing from the moment you wake up until you go to bed. Now, sometimes I also tell a lot of my clients, this is the obstacle course. The 6th house is like the obstacle course, because we have a lot of things that we need to maybe get done throughout the day, or things that have to get handled and organized. There's an organizational piece that I'm seeing for a lot of you guys here that is going to have to get worked out between the Mars and Mercury conjunction forming that square. So there could be some sort of exchanges of communication that comes up here where you feel like finally you have to speak up and you need to put your foot down. Or it could be that you feel like you're giving out way more than what is coming back to you. And so therefore, you now have to step into the picture and you need to say, this is a hard stop for me. I cannot do more than this. I can't take on X amount of responsibility because it's just too much. There is some kind of responsibility that has to get worked out here between the daily lifestyle, and you may have to adjust your daily lifestyle, or you could be getting an offer or something new that you are, wanting to take on, but then there is a part of you that may not know if this is going to work out, and there's sort of a lot of energy that comes up due to maybe not knowing whether you're going to be able to do it or not. This could be a space where this is going to be a good energy for you to just speak up and communicate to the people that are involved right? Because I feel like with that third house aspect for you guys, what we're taking a look at, there might be people involved here for you as well, where you just need to put down the boundaries that you need. That's what we're taking a look at with Scorpio, especially at 7 degrees. This is going to be something that you're really wanting to work out at this time. And so you're taking a look at what you need to communicate, what you need to sort of get off your chest in order to bring a space in that you can operate from, and that your day-to-day matches what it is that you're trying to create here. Now, when we move forward 2 more days from here, let me just clear my screen here real quick. When we move on 2 more days from here, this is November 12th. This is going to be now leading up to, we're working something out, but then we come to this realization that the sun in the 3rd house for you is really illuminating now that there is a movement forward when it comes to all of your efforts in regards to a new storyline that you're shaping, to your local community, to anything that is impactful to your mindset, that you're feeling and thinking a lot sharper. And then also now, this is going to show you that there is a lot more purpose and meaning you're able to bring into your bonds with other people, because that trine that we're seeing is being formed from the 3rd into the 7th house, where Neptune is at. Neptune is in Pisces in your 7th house. So here there is a brand new purpose that starts to arise when it comes to your bonds to particular people, or bonds in general to other people. So there is a new sort of purpose that comes up, or a meaning around this, that is going to feel really nice. I really love this trine. I think that this is going to be a much needed energy and relief, especially because the energies this month are going to be intense more than any other Scorpio season. So I think that this is going to be a great day of discovering and realizing that you're overcoming things. It's going to take a little bit more time, but the future is going to start to change. And at the same time, I think for a lot of you, you are going to have this realization that you are really wanting to protect this. Whatever is unfolding right now in your life, you're wanting to protect it. You are feeling that it is an energy field that you want to protect. You want to see this grow more. So this is a really beautiful aspect. This is all of the stuff that is going to be happening right before that full moon. Now, I want to show you the cards that I have pulled. And if you are listening to this on the podcast version, I will be mentioning all of the cards that I have pulled. Now, I'm going to switch my camera real quick over to the cards. So anybody who is viewing this in video format is going to be able to see the cards. So let me just get my camera started. All right, so we are now seeing the cards that I have pulled for you. And these cards right over here, I said we were going to see the cards and they didn't quite show up yet. There you go. Okay, here we go. Perfect. So we're going to go through each and every one of these cards. The first card that we're seeing is the Death card. The Death card is a card that is going to represent the general themes this month. And wow, what a way to start the month, right? For you, Virgos, this is going to be a time of deep release. That is the most important thing here. It is going to be a time of deep release. Everything you're doing now is going to show you that you have truly changed. And it's going to give you that validation. We're seeing that with the Death card here, followed right by the Star. The emotional theme is the Star card. That's the representation of the next card. What is the emotional theme? Well, what do we see with the Star? The Star is a card that aims for a divine purpose within the self. The Star is right above your head, right? Something that is channeled through you out into life, and it makes sense to you and your purpose here. And I think the emotional currency is going to be purpose for a lot of you this month. And it has a lot to do with the past. And it's not just the past of last year. It's the past of almost the last decade for a lot of you, that there is now a time that you are going to see and witness over the next 30 days, that your entire story, in particular to relationships, and we're going to get to that in just a moment with the cards, it is changing. There is a new purpose that is unfolding here that is going to help you to see that things are in divine order. If you had questioned that, this month is going to show you the opposite. It's going to give you the validation. Now, the third card that we're seeing is what to aim for. What you're aiming for, or what you should be aiming for. The insight is the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands says basically taking a stand for the things that feel good to you and sticking to it, right? Sticking to it, really making sure that you are letting go of anything that does not make sense so that you can clear out the clutter. This Nine of Wands card, the energy that's coming off of this is someone who is sharp, someone who is ready to move on forward and is not distracted. And the wands are surrounding this person as a part of protection. So the way in which you can protect yourself, especially over the next 30 days, because there will be a lot of things that will be sort of revealed to you. And because you are so deeply connected to mutable earth energy, right? So you're able to pick up a lot that is happening in the moment. You're going to get this epiphany almost here. That's what I'm getting, that you are in a place now where you understand in order to protect yourself, it is a time where you must be in action for the things that bring you purpose. And there is no turning back. And you're looking at the situations in your life now that must be dealt with as well. There is a particular situation with a tie to a person who has really impacted the last decade of your life. That's what I'm seeing for a lot of you. And the Nine of Wands here basically says, you know, you're going to look at the situation and you're going to be ready to deal with it. And the reason you want to deal with it is because you are now at a place, the world, where the energies support closure. The World card in general, the bigger picture of the World card is closure. It's fixed energy. You must close this one circle and step into a new. We see that, right? The fixed Taurus energy in the card, we see that this is about your worth, right? We see the fixed Leo energy. It's about your heart space. The fixed Scorpionic energy is going to be about, you know, you really sticking to what your convictions are and what you're committed to, trusting yourself now. And then the fixed Aquarius energy is going to be about sticking to what it is that you need to execute and complete, especially when it comes to this one particular relationship that impacted you. And then from there on out, which was so beautiful about this, but also the aspect that is going to be challenging is the Ace of Wands. That's the next card that we see. The Ace of Wands, or the Ace of Rods, if you're watching this on the video, then what you see here is this is the growth aspect of this month, that you are truly stepping into a new season. And it's not just for this year, it is for years to come. It is for something that is going to last a very long time, a new version of yourself, because the wands have to do with the self. So there is a new self that is realized, but will you create the space and will you boldly allow for this aspect of yourself to unfold and actually not, you know, be scared of what is going to unfold here, because anything can be recovered or worked out, even if it doesn't go in the way that you want to. So there might be more fears than actual, like real things that might unfold. So it might be really false evidence appearing real, right? It's a fear that you might have that you don't know how things are going to go, but trust this time, trust where you're being guided. That's the Ace of Wands. That's the growth challenge. Now, the next card is going to represent the emotional themes and relationships. And we see the Lovers card. And this is what I've been talking about, your relationships. And in general, your relationship to yourself is just so different now. If I could ask a lot of you, and you can share this with me, right? You can just leave a comment. You can share this with me. You know, what have you changed about yourself? What has changed about you and who you are, especially over the last 2 years? A lot. You may have really just come to a realization that there is so much that you're contributing and maybe you're not giving yourself the credit that you deserve. And it starts with you. right? So there is a part of you that is understanding that you've reached now this particular soul lesson. And then the 7th card here, or the last card that we see, is what is the most important aspect to focus on over the next two weeks, especially. We see the Fool. I mean, we have so many major arcana. You guys have a big month ahead of you. The Fool basically says, can you just be free and embrace that? Embrace the parts of you that are just new and look into a new direction in life and know that like things are to be embraced now, no matter what is going on around you, because some of the energies are still leaving. So it could feel like that you are in this space where you want to be careful, right? But you don't want to be over careful. And that is what I mean to say for a lot of you, Virgo and Virgo rising friends out there. So that's what I'm seeing for all of you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching. I am going to see you in the next episode. If there is any kind of comments you have, I'd love to hear from you. How is this month unfolding for you? And again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm going to see you